Hello, Streetwear 365. Welcome to another brand breakdown. Yesterday we looked at Nike, and today we are doing another one on Nike because there is just so much here to break down. Except it's not going to be on their it's not going to be on their short form content on their Instagram page, as great as that is. Today we're going to look at their long form content because I think this is overlooked by many brands. So I want to show you a couple of things. Check this out. Nike has a podcast. Now, you may or may not have heard of it. Either way, that's okay. But this is really amazing because a podcast is something that it's just for the most loyal fans of a brand. Like, they're beyond customers at this point. These are the ones that show up. They buy every single clothing drop. They're always there on day one. And so this is the kind of resources that are for that top 10% of your customer base. And so in this podcast, they're talking about mindset, movement, nutrition, recovery, sleep, and they've got different authorities in the space of health and athletes, and they're just talking more about the lifestyle behind their brand, and they're creating conversations and telling stories about that. And I think it's the most interesting thing about something like a podcast to me is it doesn't have a profit center, meaning that they're not something like that. They're probably spending more money to create the podcast than it's giving them. But so why would they do it then? It's because the indirect effects of creating a podcast are greater than the short-term losses. And it's because they become a force in society. They become a culture driver, and one that people notice and see as a brand that is doing more than just becoming profitable, but actually promoting a cause, starting a movement, and in the end, that is going to increase customer loyalty, increase customer lifetime value, decrease customer churn. So basically, people buy more times, spend more money each time they buy, and all because of something like this. And the other thing they're doing with their long form content that I judge you'll find really interesting is they have a very active YouTube channel. Well, relatively active. I mean, 3 weeks ago was the last time they posted. But look, have a look at this. They post these different series. Again, all of it is about athletes, right? Everything they're doing, everything they're posting is something to do with athlete. And so they have different series about that. They unpack this idea of what it means to be an athlete in different ways. And so one of the series in particular that I wanted to draw your attention to was this one here. You've got this. Athletes, creators, and girls talk about growing up and sports. And so these are the videos where they have particular people, like people that are probably just from their audience, that share on the topic, that share their story and share their perspective and their mindset on the topic of what it means to be an athlete. In this case, about being women athlete and growing up around sports. And what they're doing is they're creating a community around this idea. And also it's involving it's not only building a community by just creating the content, it's also involving the community in the creation of the content itself. And so not only is this a great way to create content when you don't necessarily have the best actors and you can't always pay the models and stuff, like, just get people that are passionate in the community itself to make the content, because they know what they want to talk about if they're passionate about the message and the identity that you're sharing through your brand. So this is why this content is so powerful. There's a lot here to learn about how you can make content with little resources by crowdsourcing from people from your community, how to increase customer loyalty with long form content, and why it doesn't have to make money, because in the long run, why it doesn't have to make money in the short term, because in the long term, it most certainly will. And this is the kind of stuff that separates Nike, the number one clothing brand of any category in the world, from everyone else. So this was today's brand breakdown. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something from it. I certainly have. And if you have another brand that you would like me to review, or maybe you've got your own brand that you'd like me to review, leave a comment with your Instagram handle on this post. I will be sure to make a video about it and give you some feedback, something to improve, remove, or just some constructive criticism to help you make your page 10% better, and share your message with the world. So thank you for watching this brand breakdown. I'm Elijah, and I will see you tomorrow for another.